pullback I'm expecting, then do what? A continuation to the upside. If it happens this way, we're expecting dollars to be what? Strong. Now, this is not just what you're going to do and you're saying that if I'm trading any pair that has dollars on it, because DXY is strong, I will just go and pick Euro USD and start selling it. No. You have to go to EXY, which is Euro Index, and check what is actually happening here. Have you seen Euro Index? I even have a chart on it. I always have charts on all these things. Beautiful. So you see how this guy broke out from here, did a retest and did what? Continues way up. So I'm expecting it to I'm expecting a continuation of this to the upside. Because this is a retest out of the zone. Let me draw it again. Line charts. So we already understand how to identify our pullback. So there's no need I'm explaining it further. I will just continue with this. So that is the first pullback here. When you zoom out your chart, go first to the first pullback on the line chart. That is where you draw your what? Your zone. Then the second one is this one. You can see is glaring to your face here. So these are practically a very strong zone. I'm expecting price to do what? Bounce here. So if this price does this, what happens here? It's either going to bounce or reject it and do like this. Sorry. It's either going to do this way, bounce it up, come back here, or break out, reject, and continue. Or it continues like this, downward, like this, and do what? But let me change it to what line chart and see. So now we can see, you can see what's happening here. We've identified the zones. You can see this bar. So what's going to happen tomorrow, sorry, today by 11 o'clock is either price just go back to retest within this area and does what? So if EXY, which is Euro Currency Index, is going down, what happens to Euro? Please type on the chat box. If this currency index is going down, what happens to Euro? Please type on the chat box. Let me know you understand this. Weak, beautiful, weak, beautiful. So now we can understand now that Euro will be weak based on what we have on the index, and dollars will be strong based on what we saw on our own index. Let me change this to DXY. He saved the last one. It didn't save the previous one we just did. Not to worry, we can actually do it again. So if you understand this thing, it's very easy to draw. Very, very easy. You just need to just identify the pullbacks, the recent pullbacks, and draw your zone. That's all. It's no biggie. It's not something you should. It's something you should just be doing freely. You know, this was something we did something like this, right? So I explained earlier that I'm expecting price to do a drop this way, then continuation to the upside, like this. If this W pattern we are seeing here, this rejection here is going to be the continuation. So if we understand that, okay, this is what's going to happen on this trend, and EXY, we can see EXY here, that this is what's going to happen as well. Let me delete all this line. So you now have a clear picture that Euro USD, Let me go to Euro USD. Now we have a clear picture that if this happens, there's a tendency that Euro USD, there's a zone here. I've already seen it. So you have a clear picture that this is going to happen. Price will drop here, do like this, or break it, do like this, and drop. So these are easy ways you can also use to trade it in your forex market. But these are for people who doesn't have too many pairs, and which is good. You don't need to have all the pairs. I only trade gold, but since I came across everybody, I decided to start analyzing other charts and all that. But basically, I want to master the movement of gold all the time. I want to master how the investors think, because what we do, we're just copying, following the investor. If they are going right, we go right. That's a market maker. If they are going left, we go left. So I want to master how the investor think when they are trading gold. That's why you see me every time. The most pair I'm calling here is always gold pair. So you can see how the combination of EXY, Euro index, and DXY, dollar index, gave me what my prediction on what is going to happen to Euro USD. So hope we've understood how this works when it comes to trading using DXY and zones, using your currency index as zones. Now, only one person plays pair, which is GBP USD. Okay, that's Udeme. So what I'm going to do today will be gold and GBP USD. Now let me type GBP USD. But let's first go to pounds index. That's BXY, British pounds index. Oh, I already have a map, a chart on it. Let me see what I did. Okay. So there's a zone here. You see this place here. And price did what? Respected it, broke out of it. So you can see the retest, which is this candle, or it breaks out, does like this, and does what go up. But let's do a proper analysis. Go to line chart, H1. Now the last pullback is here to here. So I'll pick my rectangle and I'll draw from here up to this place. Okay, just stretch it out. Every other one is still within the zone. So you go to the next one, which is here to here. Pick a rectangle, draw from here to this place. You know I picked this one because all other price action will fall within that zone. All these ones, if I change this to candlestick, you can see how price reacted to it. So if you pick any zone here, you just make it messy. That was why I picked this one here, this pullback from here to this here. And you draw your rectangle. You can see every other one here falls within that price. So the next one you pick is this one to this one. So go to your rectangle, draw your zone from here to here. Now, if you change it to candlestick, you can see what's happening in the market. Let me reset it. Have you seen how price is doing what? Respecting this. So if this candle closes like this, and a bullish and a bearish candle start forming, so what I'm expecting for this is what? Come down. But there's a tendency that it can go back inside the zone, break out like this, continue like this. So that's why you always wait for the candle to complete its time. Wait for the next candle to see what's going to happen. Because anytime there's a weekend like this, some cases you see gaps in the market. So if you can see a gap today, the price will be inside here. The price might gap to the upside before it does what? Come down. So if you go to pair that has GBP on it, you'll see that there'll be a little gap on it. So now we've understood what's happening here, that there's a tendency for price to do what? Go bearish. Sorry. There's a tendency for price to go, you can see, look at the wick here. You can see this here. So this is a powerful resistance zone before. Look at it here again. Look at, let me clean this marker sign. Oh, what now you can clearly see what's happening here. This is a resistance, another resistance here, another one here, to show you that this zone is a powerful resistance zone. So price is going to do what's expected. It's either it's going to come down this way on this zone here, reject it and go up, or breaks out of the zone. This was going to happen. It's either going to go like this or like this, or the combination of coming down this way like this. So this is what I'm expecting to happen. But we can see that there's a resistance zone there, which you know that anytime price gets to a support zone or a resistance zone, it must surely respect it. That's one thing you should understand about price. If you can identify your zone and price gets there, price must do what? Respect that zone. So this zone here, I'm expecting what? Price to react to it. Sorry. I was trying to delete it. I don't know, I was creating more dotted now. So we understand now that pounds will be a little bit what? Weak. But we don't know how long it's going to be, because you can see that this is an uptrend. It's going up. So any pullback you're seeing here is just a temporary one. So it's waiting, it's because of the zone there. That was why the price stopped and it rejected. So if you come down a bit here to this zone before it goes back up to break it. So now if we go to GBP USD, sorry, my chat is blinking. Let me know what we continue. Audio, please. Click on the, let me type that stuff I wrote the other time. Click on the speaker sign by the left side of your screen. You'll be able to hear me. I'm sure every other person can hear me, right? If you can hear me, type yes. Sunday, please, can you listen? Just follow these steps here. You'll be able to hear. Good, thank you. Thank you, Chukwebuka. So this is what we're expecting now. This pullback we're seeing here is just a temporary one, because you can see that the market is going on an upward journey. Higher, you can see it, higher highs. It's going high. So there's no downtrend here for now. Everything is going up. So any little thing you're expecting here is just a pullback, then for the continuation to keep either going up or it drops. And by the time it drops, you make sure this last high here, price will break it, retest it, and what? That's when we can know that pounds is weak. But if you don't see something like this, uptrend is still what? Valid. So what you're seeing here is purely an uptrend. Until this last high here, which is broken, then it becomes a what? A resistance for the for the downward trend. Then you can say, okay, yes, the market has changed its direction. But for now, this is an uptrend. So the pullback is just a temporary one. So now let's go to GBP USD. I'll change it to GBP USD. I even have a chart on it. So let's delete it now. This is a monthly time frame. You can see that price has done what? Let me show you what price is doing. See this beautiful W. Okay, you can see it on a multi time frame. So I'm expecting price to come to this area, but this is a monthly time frame. But before it gets to that area, it has to come to this place. Now from here to here, remember this is a monthly time frame, is a very long time frame. So 2021, we're expecting that price should do what? Go up. But if you look very critical, you will see that here is a resistance zone. Have you seen what candles are doing here? You can see it here. So this is a resistance zone. That's why price closed like this for this is a monthly time frame. For December, if this price end of December, if you see something like this break out of here, repeat this, break out of this area here, what she's expecting is up, an upward movement. So for if it breaks out 2021, we should be expecting GBP USD to go on a bullish run based on this W pattern that you're seeing here. But until then, let's analyze what's going to happen this period. Now this is a monthly time frame. You can see that market has been going down here. You can see it here until here is broken. You can't say this is a complete uptrend, okay? Because this is there was the last one. This was the last low. This low broke it. So you know that you can see the rejection here, it broke it. Now, the last high was this one. So until market breaks out of it, does like this, then you can say, okay, yes, GBP USD is on a bullish run. But before that, we have to know if the lower time frame will show us what's going to happen for this pair. Now look at it here. This is the weekly time frame. Price is doing what? Creating higher highs and higher lows. You can see it here. It's still within. If I change it to a line chart, you can see there's a rejection here. Let me put at the tip of this. You can see that tip that we drew. Change it to candlestick. Price close above it, but I won't say that it could be a false breakout. We can't tell until this candle is full and you see a retest within this area, nothing happened, then you can know that yes, this candle, this one to start is what? A journey to the upside. But pending that, we can't trade. You can't just we have an idea now that there's a pattern that tells us that the trade wants to do what? Go up. But until it has broken this high, you can't say this trade, because it can get to this level where it is now and begin to drop back down like this. You never can tell. But until it breaks this level, does this way, then you can say yes, this trade is going to my own direction. Now we'll go to the daily time frame and see what's happening here. You can see so many what? Indication that this pair is going what? Upwards. So this is what I'm expecting. More push to the upside, retest. You can see how beautiful it is trading without your indicators. It will help you to look very well. I'm not saying if you want to trade indicator, you can. It's your choice, it's your preference. But indicators can be very what? Because it's what price does that indicator reacts to it. If you must use any indicator, the one I recommend is MACD. And if you want to use the MACD, use it on a 4 hours time frame. When you see a cross, because MACD is the most patient indicator in the whole of every indicator in the forex market. Before MACD moves, something must have pushed it. So if you must use any indicator, use a MACD. Use a what? A MACD. So that is my own recommendation. If you must use an indicator. So I'm expecting price to do this. You can see why. Do you see why I draw this horizontal line here? Because of this, what I saw here. So price will do something this nature, move up to the upside a bit, do a retest, break out like this. If this must go up. Now let's go to H4 and see what's happening on H4. Then we'll go to H1 to draw our zone. You can draw your zone anywhere, any time frame, but I prefer what? My H1. Draw my zone. Everything indicating here that the trend is going to the upside, but it stopped because of that resistance on the monthly time frame. This little high here is not a conviction that this is an uptrend. The uptrend is continuing. It needs to go higher than this, but I can ascertain that. Now let's go to H1. Then we'll draw our what? Our zone. Change to line charts. And you draw your zone. Now this is the recent pullback here. Here to here. You can see this dropped like this, did a pullback and drop. So you pick your horizontal line, your rectangular, sorry, and you do what? You do this. Now all these fall within this zone. So the next one you pick is this one over here. Prosper, please stop writing on my screen, please. I told you I'm not a techie person. Femi is not here. He's the one that helps me, does all this thing. Please don't stress me. Okay, good. Now you can see what's happening here. Price, the market closed within this particular zone here. So what are you expecting when the market open? Let's draw the next zone so you can see in case the market breaks it. We know where price is going to. I use this pullback here. But don't worry, I'm going to use this example for rectangle strategy like I told you, I promised everyone here. We are 21 here. So those 21 people are the ones that are going to benefit from the rectangle strategy. But I love this zoning because it's the easiest way to make profits in a forex market. Because rectangle strategy, you're going to use it only on 4 hours. The network is breaking. Please, can you hear me loud and clear? Somebody said my network is breaking. If you can hear me loud and clear, type 5 on the chat, please. Talk, but I'm sure the network is from your area, okay? So maybe you should just move. Now you can see what happened here. How price did what? Close above the zone. So if market open, what am I expecting? This. And that is how many pips? Is about 40 something pips or 30 something pips. This. Or it breaks out, retests, and does what? Breakout. Or it breaks in, do this, and does what? This is what I'm expecting the market to do. So if the market opens, expect this. If you are using the zoning strategy, it's easy for you to predict your TP. That's someone chat me last week. It was like, ma'am, how do you normally get your TP1 and TP2? I said, this is what I do. When I identify my zone, I just share it into 2. Gold have a very large TP. Any little candle, you can get enough TP, you can get enough pips from it. So you can just slash it in, and if you're expecting it to go up, this can just be your TP1 because within here to here is 30 something pips. Then your TP2 should be above here. That's if price breaks. So when your TP1 hits, you move your what? Stop loss to your entry price. So one of your entry has hit take profits. You're waiting for the other one to hit on the next take profit. And your stop loss, if you are deciding to buy this pair as soon as market open, your stop loss should be what? Below the zone here. Let your risk to reward ratio be what? Always 1 to 3 or what? 2 to 6. your reward, your risk should not be higher than what the reward you're going to get. Before you trade any market, how much am I willing to what lose before you can think of what to gain? So now we've understood it using zoning to check what's going to happen as soon as the market opens. Now let's go to rectangle strategy. I'm going to teach this once for those that are here. Once. I'm not going to teach this strategy again because I paid a whole lot to learn this strategy. And you can do this strategy only on 4 hours. It can't be done on any other time frame. Only on what? 4 hours what? Time frame. So this is the number 1 step. I'm going to jot it down. For those that are writing, so okay, just sorry, I'm gonna do this one. Okay, now this is it. It's only done. You can use the rectangle strategy only on H4, no other time frame. And the disadvantage of it is that it has a large stop loss. That's one thing you should know. That's why I always combine it with zones, because zone can help me reduce my what? My stop loss. That is number one disadvantage. So you should have that in mind. And because it's on H4 time frame, you need to have a big account to do this. But if your account is small, combine it with what? Zone. Even if your account is not small, it's always good for your risk to reward ratio. The risk should be always low. If you are going to lose 30 pips, it should be 30 pips. Not you are losing 100 pips to gain 100 pips, or you're losing 100 pips to get 50 pips. That is not always nice. If you've been following my trade calls on the WhatsApp group, my TP is between 30 to 40 pips. I'm sorry, my stop loss is between 30 to 40 pips, and my TP is 100, 150, 200, depending, because we're always using what's gold. So this is only what you should always do. Think about it. And I prefer GBP pairs again when I was trading other pairs, because their TPs are always, their candlestick gives more pips than every other pair. So one thing you should understand is done on what? A higher time frame, H4. Zoom out like this till you can't zoom out anywhere. Zoom out to the last minimum. Identify your trend using your trend line. This is it. You pick your trend line. This is what? My trend. You can see it here. It's going up from the tip of the trend I just identified to what? To the high of it. You can see that this is the box where I want to draw my rectangular box. Identify your trend, as number 3. Draw your rectangular box from the beginning of the impulse move to the end of the what? Impulse move. Now pick my rectangular box. From here, I'll draw it all to this place. Sorry, my chat box is blinking. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to follow it. Find your pivot zones. Now, how to identify your pivot zones is what? Now, you need to pay critical attention to this. Okay? Pay serious attention to this. I will draw this back for you to see. The first one is what? Zoom out to what? The last, where you can't zoom out anymore. Identify your trend. Now we can see that the trend is what? That identify your trend. That's a previous trend. The rectangular strategy, we're using the past to know what's going to happen in the future. That's what the rectangular strategy is. So now the previous impulse in the past is an upward trend. So what am I going to do? I use my trend line to pick it from the beginning of the impulse move to the end of the impulse move. Then I take my rectangular box, I drag it, pick it from here to the end of what? To the end of the what? The impulse move. Then how to identify my pivot zones is you pick another trend line, draw from here down to this place, to the tip of make sure it's at the tip, the middle like this. Have you seen it? Now we've gotten the X in between the box. Now the pivot zone or the pivot line is the intersection between the first trend line and the second trend line that I drew. So you can as well draw your trend line out. Oh, sorry. Trying to get this one. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. Let's leave it this way. So you can either draw your trend line out so you can see it very well. It's not always 100% accurate. When you're drawing it, you can make mistake because of your hand and all that. But the main important thing is for you to identify the beginning of your zone impulse move to the end of your impulse move, which is what we just did. Then use your trend line. Your trend line helps you to know where to start drawing your rectangle and when you stop drawing your rectangle. Now the intersection, you pick a horizontal line and do this way. Put it in between the intersection. So this line here is your pivot zone. It doesn't end there. Now you can see how price is respecting this place, consolidating on this impulse move. And I'll tell you how you can combine this with what? Your zoning. That will help you when you want to do take your trades, minimize your stop loss, and enter more multiple trades. Now we've gotten the first half of this box, this rectangular box. We have a half here and a half here. Now for you to know what's happening up here, you pick your trend line again, draw from this half up to this place. I'm still on number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Identify your pivot zone. I'm just trying to identify more pivot zones where price is going to do what you expected. Now you pick here and you draw this to this. You pick a horizontal line. Here, you pick another horizontal line and you do what? Intersection. You see where I'm putting my horizontal line in between the intersection of where the crossing of our trend line is. Now, can you see how price respected? You know, I've not done this on the GBP USD. I'm just doing it here so you can see it. Now, look at the past. What price did? It was between this pivot and this pivot. You see how price was respecting it. You see? Consolidating inside. Broke out, came out here. You see? You see what price is doing here? Out, then it dropped. Did this here. I'm showing you something. I'm going to tell you how to take your trades. You only take your trade when price closes either below your pivot. Let's say now this is what we're looking at. Let's say that price, let's look at price from here. Price, this has happened. This impulse moves have happened. Let me reset my chart. Good. This impulse move just happened. Remember, this is a pivot level. Price broke in between this, and you expect it to do what? Close above it. What you should do is, as soon as price closes below your what? Your pivot level, you wait for the next candle to close below the pivot level. Then that will tell you this trend wants to come down to the next pivot zone. Now see what happened here. This guy did what? Came like this, closed below. The next candle did what? Closed below it. What you would do is take your trade. Your stop loss should be above your pivot zone. Now what I do, like I told you, I use 50 or 30 pips. 50 to 30 pips. 30 to 50 pips. Now let's say you have 50 pips around here. One minute. I'm trying to hold on. Now let me tell you how this thing works. If price closes below your pivot level, you take your sell to the next pivot level. Now this, some people will like, it's gonna hit my stop loss because I'm using a shorter stop loss. But like I told you, it's 95% accurate. But with your zone, combination of your zone, it will help you to know how to set your what? Your stop loss, which I'm going to do that for you. Now you can see what happened here, that this price did what? Broke out of this. Let's say you entered here and it hit your stop loss. And you waited for this one to do what? Close. And you entered what? Your sell. Again, this happens, your TP will be on the next pivot level. What we do with rectangle strategy is selling from one pivot level to another pivot level, or you buy from one pivot level to another pivot level. Why I told you that the stop losses are very high is because if I'm taking this now, this other one, if I'm taking this as a buy, let's say I'm taking this as a buy, my stop loss will be somewhere around down here within this area, which I don't recommend people to do that. So if you want to take this, you change it to what? Your candlestick and draw your zone. Let me cut. There's a way you rewind this thing. Hold on. I want to cut some bar. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. Okay, it's from 1 hour. Sorry, but this is not the free version. All right, let's come here. Don't worry, you don't need to understand everything. You can ask questions. Oh, it's not working. I wanted to show you how you can backtest this thing using that replay. You cut it off and all that, but I think TradingView has actually improved on their stuff. So let's go back to H4 candle. Now you see how price is respecting all the pivot levels from here to here. The normal way is the way Papa Snuff taught me. This one is not there. This actually one. I was the one that put this because I saw this intersection and I noticed that price actually was respecting it. The way we were taught is like this. You just have 4 pivot zones on a box, but I added 6 to it, extra 2 to make it 6. Because in between those intersections, there's another intersection that I noticed. So now what he taught was this, the main here, which is this one. Like I told you, he has a very large stop loss. So let's assume you want to enter a sell from here because it closes below this. Your stop loss will be somewhere here. So I noticed that that is a very wide stop loss and your take profit to be here. It's like 50-50. And I was like, this is not actually, there must surely be something to track this thing. So I noticed that in between the intersection of here and here, there's another one. You can see it here. This one and this one, which is also a pivot level that price respect as well. That was why I added that one to mine. And I did what? Put the intersection there. So now you have one. Remember, this is another pivot level here. There's another pivot level here. Now this is your support. This is your what? Ceiling. That's your resistance. Now in between you have all this. All these lines here, if you see some of my charts that are seeing so many lines, all these lines here are lines that price respects. So 2 things are going to happen on this chart. Is either price breaks out of this rectangle like this and continue going up, or price does what? Come down in between here and does what? Go back up. 2 things will happen here. Even if it doesn't get to this level, it might stop here because you can see price is respecting, there's a zone here. So there's a tendency that I'm expecting price to what? Come down here, go up, break it, and keep doing what's going up. Any of this way, price must respect those zones, those levels. Let me delete this. So this is how rectangle strategy looks like. First, you identify, let me go back to this. It's drawn on H4. You zoom out to the last minimum, identify your trend using your trend line, which is what we did. The first trend line from here to this place. Draw your rectangular box, which is this box that we drew. Find your pivot zones, which is this zones that I just identified here. This one is not there. Just do this. So all these zones. Then wait for price to break each pivot zone, retest before you take your decision to either buy or what? Sell. So I'm going to delete this so I have space to see. Now let's use this as an example. It started from here. You saw price here. You will buy this pair from here to this place. Your TP should be on this place. Let me change this to red. 1 minute so you can understand. Red. I'll change this to blue. No, sorry, let me change this to blue. And I'll change this to red. I'll just give it different colors so it won't give people color blindness. Just 1 minute. Okay, let's leave it this way. Now, assuming you saw price here, you buy from this support zone to this purple line here. That should be your TP. And if you calculate it, you can see how high it is. 200 and what? 487 pips. You know, this is a pound pair. The pips are very high, just like how gold is. It's very rewarding, but the stop loss is big. Remember that. Now, if you want to now buy to this next zone, your stop loss should be below anywhere here. So your next zone should be here from here to here, but your TP should be here first. And before you buy, you have to wait for a break and retest. So now there was no retest here, rather there was a retest on this one. So what you will do is, since you've gotten to your TP1 and you see this play here, it played all to the next to this left level. Let it, you remember I told you I added this one. This green line, it was my own idea. The main thing was this first pivot here, the first intersection, the middle intersection, and this one intersection. So if your TP, let me remove my own, I'm going to add it back for you. Let me just remove it. So I will show you the original state of how far the TP is. So if you are buying this pair, your TP will be here. If you are buying it again, another TP will be what? Here on this blue line. If you decide to buy this pair again, your TP should be here on this purple line. If you buy it again, your TP should be on this red line. That's how far these TP are. But you need to be patient. So if you are not a position or what's the next one? Intraday trader, this is not for you. But the win rate of this is always accurate because price respects all these lines that you're seeing here. Then this one I added to it is this intersection here, like I told you earlier, and this one here. You can see how price respected it very well till it went to the upside. So this is what rectangular strategy, how it works. So two things I'm expecting on gold. That gold, it must surely respect this resistance zone it got here, come down to this level, go up, or come down to this level, bounce up. Any of these two is going to happen. If it breaks above this level, expect it to do what? Come down. If you understand how to draw this, type yes. If you don't understand it, type no. You cannot get everything, but you need to watch the recording of this again so you can understand how I drew the rectangular strategy. If you don't understand it, type no. If you understand the type, yes. Bakare, yes. Ibrahim, whoa. Chukebuka, no. Who else? Jeremiah, no. Tokwe, yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do it on another pair, so it will be easy for us to look at. Okay. Now I'm going to use it on gold. Let me go to gold so we can use it to draw on gold. For the benefit of those that say they don't understand, you can see I already have my rectangle here, so I know what is going to happen. No, my network is, oh, sorry about that, Jude. Let me change it to 4 hours. This was what made me I woke up that night and I said, if you know you are awake, buy gold. This happened because I used my zone too to identify this pullback, and I saw it and I said, okay, buy zone. Our TP was 1831. So our TP was 1840 or something. I had so many TPs on it. Now, this what I'm seeing on gold here. Why I'm still buyers on the sell for gold is because I've not seen the reason to buy. It's still within underneath my pivot level. That's why the last call I called on gold was a sell. Until it breaks out of this level, like this, does like this, then I'm buying it to 18.97. I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'll delete this one and draw a fresh one. No number. The first step is zoom out to the barest minimum. Identify what? Oh, your trend. And I've identified the trend using your trend line from here up to here. Have you seen it? So I know that trade is going what? Up. That's the first step. The second step, pick your rectangular bars from the beginning of the rectangle up to this place. Like I said, it must not be accurate, but you might be missing some peeps, little peeps, but don't worry. Just identify the zone, then draw a rectangular box. The first level is, you know, your support, which is the support line. Second level, know your resistance line, which is the ceiling. Then how can I identify the pivot level on my zone? What I'm going to do is to pick my trend line from the tip here down to this place. So we've identified the first pivot zone, which is this one here. You can see it. This is the first pivot zone. Now to draw next pivot zone, you know that the box has been divided into two. This is the first half and this is the second half. Now in between this half, there are other pivot levels there. But how can I identify it? You pick your trend line again from the tip to the end of the first box. You pick the trend line again. Let it be at the middle of your box. You can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to put it in the middle here, so it will be accurate. Now you pick your horizontal line, put your pivot. Remember I told you the originator of this strategy, this is how it does. But I identify this other pivot here, which price as well respect. So you pick your pivot, your horizontal zone, and you put it here. Now you can see how price is doing what's respecting it. You pick your pivots, your horizontal line to identify the one below. To identify the one below. 1 minute. My niece says she's hungry. I'm coming. What do you want to eat? I'm coming. Just gonna take fruits. I'm coming. Take right behind the fridge. Sorry about that. All right, so this is another. I'm trying to identify the next one. So you pick your horizontal line. Now you can see how price is respecting the zones. Now, if you've drawn your zone, the lines, these lines you are seeing here, is enough for you to predict what's going to happen in the future. So you don't need to draw the box again. Continue drawing the box. That's why I told you the last time I said that we're going to do what? Sell gold. But it hit our stop loss because our stop loss was tight. So now let me do this. You can see what's happening here. This is a pivot level. Price is expecting it. So I'm still expecting a fall on gold because price is still under my pivot level. Until it gets up here and close above it, I cannot say a buy. I still see a sell to what? 1730 area, this area, to this area here. But you know this is gold. From where the market closed, 1838 to 1843. That's about 50 pips. That's why I say when you're trading gold, you need to be very careful. That's about 50 pips. So the market might open and it decides to gap. You can see why, if you are using this strategy to trade, it's very, very good. Because by the time you say, look at this drop, it dropped here, you wait for a retest before you sold to the next level. Even if it hits you on your stop profit, it's still close below. You're still going to sell it that year. You're going to hit your what? Your take profits. And you decide to sell this pair again. It coming back to retest this. Even if it closes you above your stop profit because you're expecting it to go to the next level, which is 17, it didn't. It hit your stop loss. It's still within your zone, underneath your zone. I'm expecting price to do what? Still drop. Until price closes above 1843, this area, I'm not expecting a what? A buy. When it closes, then I know that price is going to 1895. But if it doesn't, price is coming down what? To this. So now how can I know this? I can combine it with my what? My zone. You can see what's happening here. Let me squeeze it. Change it to line chart. This is within this area, so I can't use it. I will use this one here. So you see where I got my TP1, where I normally get my TP1 and TP2. So if I call this trade earlier, or if I'm going to call this trade this week, this will be my TP1. If price gaps, maybe the market open and it gaps to this area, it goes up, it gaps up to this area. And I said, okay, let's sell this pair. Or you wait for price to close, or if price starts selling. This will be my first TP here, 1815. My second TP will be down here, this area. Then my third TP will be here, 1736. So you see how I identify my TPs when I'm trading. I combine zone and my rectangle together. It will help your trading easy. My stop loss now will be what? Above this high. I don't need this lunge unless you have $1 million in your account. You can put your stop loss here. But if you don't, let it be above the what? Previous high. The last candle that wicked out that did a rejection, let your stop loss be above it. The strategy says your stop loss should be above on the next pivot, but I don't use it because it's outrageous. That's too much. So what I do is the last candle, the rejection of the last candle, which is this one you are seeing here, this week out, that is where I'm going to put my stop loss. Then my TP will be on the next zone, and the next pivot level. So that's how I use the combination of rectangle strategy and zoning to take my trade on any pair that I'm doing that is not gold. Every other pair I can just do zoning, but when I'm trading gold, which is my baby, I always draw the rectangle strategy. It tells me what to do. It tells me this is the last TP that we did over 1,000 pips. That was here. I think it was here, somewhere around here, that I said we should sell. We sold it. It did this. I think I took 900 and something pips from it, from gold. I was expecting it to drop to this level, but it didn't drop. It now turned back. So I'm still expecting gold to do what drop. But if it breaks above this, then the sell is invalid. If you notice, when something changes, I go back to the group and I tell you this is invalid. Now look out to do this. Look out to do for this. Here, some people say I'm looking at the head and shoulder. Fine, this is a beautiful head and shoulder because this was what made me to buy this trade. This thing here, though it's still showing that it's coming down here. But when I saw this using my zone, it was around 2 a.m. or so. I sent to the group, if you're awake, buy gold. We bought it around 1777, somewhere around here. Yeah, somewhere around here. We bought it around here till it got to our TP. I never knew it was even going to get to this level. I thought it's going to stop at this zone and come down. But it beat my imagination. It got to this level. So if gold is going to continue this to this upside, I'll wait patiently for it to close above this. So this strategy, you need to wait patiently. You don't have to rush to enter the trade. You must wait for break and retest. If not, you'll keep losing. But if you can practice this, it has 95% winning rate. I've been using it and it has been winning. But if you're not patient, please just stick to your 1 hour support and resistance that I've been teaching all this while. That one is also a beautiful strategy. It's very simple because anything that is complicated in Forex, I'm not interested. That's why I don't use cloud. Cloud is a very good, there's this strategy using the cloud. But the too much, the indicators and the diagrams is too much. It causes night blindness for me. That's why I don't do it. Anything that is simple like this, that is where you see me. So please go back and practice it. For those who said no, do you understand what I did now and how I got to this level? For those who said no, they don't understand. You can see that with this pair now, I can predict what's going to happen in gold till the future. Until it breaks out of this ceiling or this support area, then I will draw another rectangular box to know what's happening. But since price is within this line that I drew here, I can predict what's going to happen in the future. For the fact that price is between here, it's still between this zone here and here. If it doesn't break out of this ceiling or this support, I will keep predicting the movement of gold using that strategy, this rectangular strategy. So when people, I think I sent it to, did I send it to the troop? I don't think I did. When Jadi said he has seen, how do I know that this is going to happen and all that? I was like, it's just, I've taught him this strategy and he uses it and it's just profitable and it's very well. So practice it, you enjoy it, but you just have to be patient. It's not for impatient traders. But if you're patient, you enjoy it. This trade, I bought this pair somewhere around, was it here? Yeah, this pattern here. We bought it because I knew it was going to come here. It came to hit our hit take profit. I bought it again, expecting it to come here, but it didn't. When I saw that it created lower high, that I knew that okay, price will not get here. You can see it here. Let me show you. Yeah, you can see it's low. It's going low. because it broke this low, I was expecting this movement. I was expecting price to come here after it broke here, but it did what? It created this impulse move, came down here. Then this gave me the conviction that the buy is now invalid. The sell is now going to do what? Take over. So when it was creating all these things here, I knew that, okay, for now, I should be looking at more sells on gold instead of buy. So until it breaks above this, my prediction for gold is drop. It's going to drop back to the zone, break it and come down. But if it breaks above it, the next your TP should be what? 1895. Please, for those who said no, do you understand how I drew my rectangle and how I'm getting it? Yeah, I understand now. Good, I understand now. All right, Chuke Bukari is fine. So this is for those who are on this call. If there's any question, you can type on the chat box. I'm done for the training today, which is just one person said GBP USD, and you know gold has always been my baby, so I must only analyze what's happening on gold. So for GBP USD, we can tell what's going to happen. Like I explained earlier, if the market open, two things are going to happen: respect this zone, drop, and continue going up, or drops to this next level. If it breaks down from this purple line, it's coming down to this black line, then this blue line. But for now, from what we are seeing, gold is actually on an uptrend. Sorry, GBP USD is on an uptrend. But with this strategy, we know that yes, it's going to respect the zone. It must surely respect it until it breaks out of the rectangular zone. Then we will draw another rectangular box. But for the fact that price is within this zone, you can predict what's going to happen with any currency pair using rectangular strategy. Number one, just identify what? The zone, the trend line, the trend of the market. Identify the trend, which is this. Draw your box, draw your horizontal lines and allow it be. For the bad price is within this horizontal line, you can predict where price is going to. Any question, you can type it on the chat box so I can actually answer, because I don't have much time. My niece is hungry. I need to go and make. Why is this rectangular strategy not used on other time frame? Okay, like, trust me, this is not my strategy, and this is why the person used it. You can try it on a lower time frame, but all the while I've been using it is just on H4. But the zoning that I actually use using line charts, I can use it on anyone. That one I actually discovered it myself on how to use zone. Though it was checked by Oren Wright, one of my tutors on IML, but I used it. I practiced on how to use my line charts, and it works for every time frame. But for this rectangular strategy, it's not my strategy. It was taught by Papa Smurf, and he has been using H4. And since I've been using H4, I've not had an issue. But you can be the first to try it on H1. You can try it on 30 minutes. I don't know. But H4 is an intersection between the lower time frame and the higher time frame. So it gives you an idea of what is happening in the market, where it's going to go. You see a broader picture. I believe that's why he uses H4, because the H4 take away the noise that the lower time frame gives you, and it gives you what the trend of what the higher time frame is going, So that will help you to take your trades, take anything that you're doing on the trade. So for those who actually sold this here, their TP one would have gotten here. If they sell again, their TP will be here. If they're selling again, their TP will be here. So you see how it works. Have I answered your question, Chukebuka? Any other question before we end the session? Okay, good. Mr. Odem, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I think we're done for the day, so you can stop recording.